Hello from Max TV. Nature is an area where every clash can mean the difference between life and death. In this video, we'll showcase rare battles and animal fights captured on camera. Get ready for incredible moments of territorial disputes, survival struggles, and fights for dominance. These unique clips will reveal the fascinating world of wildlife, full of unexpected twists and dramatic encounters. Let's begin. Just 3 weeks after hatching, hummingbird chicks are already the same size as their mother. Soon, it's time to leave the nest and search for food on their own. The easiest way to do this is near human-made feeders, but these places are full of dangers. One such threat is the fast-running predatory bird known as the roadrunner. Catching agile hummingbirds isn't easy, as the roadrunner is much quicker on land than in the air, but with precise aim, it managed to snatch its prey in a spectacular leap. A lion charged straight at a small, lone buffalo. The terrified animal even took a defensive stance, but the lion could only laugh at that. The predator sank its teeth into the buffalo's neck and after a 20-second struggle, brought it down to the ground. The gray heron doesn't care what it catches for dinner, whether it's a frog, a snake, or even a crocodile. After being attacked by a falcon, this duck fell to the ground and could no longer take flight. But it got incredibly lucky. It spotted the safety of the water and made a dash for it. Catching a duck in the water is nearly impossible. It'll dive with every incoming attack. Off the western coast of California, deep within underwater kelp forests, a cunning predator lurks beneath the sand, the angel shark. This toothy fish is a master of camouflage. It buries itself in the sand, lying motionless in ambush, waiting for its prey. This predator can strike in just 1/10 of a second. An owl was flying back to its nest with prey in its talons when, out of nowhere, a large hawk appeared and decided to steal the meal. In a spectacular mid-air maneuver, the hawk forced the owl to drop the mouse, then swooped down and caught it in mid-flight. This old lone lion was peacefully resting on an airstrip in Africa until 2 young males spotted him and decided to attack. After a brief fight, the old lion lowered its head, accepting defeat. A leopard set up an ambush for wildebeests in the shade of this tree. At just the right moment, it struck, and the smallest one ended up in its claws. A little messier than expected, but now it's got a full meal. Beachgoers were in shock when a bald eagle targeted a young seagull. On its second attempt, the eagle managed to pin the gull to the ground, but suddenly, crows swooped in and began attacking the eagle from all sides. The eagle decided to retreat and left the gull alone. A crazed lion stormed into a pack of wild African dogs. It's unclear what triggered such aggression, but within seconds, the lion had already attacked 2 pups. A gray heron decided to land in a backyard swimming pool. The homeowners had to shout at their dog to calm it down before it attacked, and the heron was lucky the dog eventually backed off. And here's another stunning attack, this time a lone male lion taking down a buffalo. A skilled hunter like this needs no help from anyone. A new encounter between the fearless honey badger and 2 young lions. The fearless creature acted aggressively, baring its teeth at the lions, making it impossible for them to land a single bite. Eventually, the honey badger simply walked away, continuing on its way. A funny battle between two pandas was caught on camera in a tree. After a short struggle, one of the pandas tumbled down. It looked both terrifying and hilarious, but don't worry, the panda was completely fine after the fall. A reckless lion made the mistake of approaching a pride of lionesses who immediately charged at him in full fury. He tried to fight back, but against so many fierce predators, he stood no chance. He had to flee in complete panic. The literal translation of this animal's name is water goat, and right now it's proving exactly why. Using its sharp horns, it drove its own mate into the water, refusing to let her return to land. It knew crocodiles were there. It clearly wanted to get rid of her, and that's exactly what happened. The crocs attacked and dragged her into the middle of the lake. There was no escape. These lions discovered a watering hole where cormorants were in the middle of their nesting season. All their attempts to hunt the birds during the day ended in failure, but the lions quickly developed an unusual hunting strategy. At night, cormorants have poor vision, so the lions launched a stealthy nocturnal ambush. Incredibly, the tactic worked. And in this slow-motion footage, a tuna fish snatches its prey straight out of the air. These seabirds immediately launched an attack on a polar bear, trying to drive it away from their chicks. The chick did its best to escape, but the bear caught up with it, even in the water. In this backyard, a chicken was attacked by a bald eagle. The predator pinned its prey to the ground with its talons, sending feathers flying everywhere, but this time the chicken got lucky. The eagle lost its grip, and she bolted away. A thirsty pigeon arrived at the watering hole for a drink, unaware that predators often lurk in such places. The pigeon didn't even get close to the water before a northern goshawk launched a swift attack. There was no escape. Here's an example of how aggressive the females of the animal kingdom can be. This poor lion had no luck. His lioness scratched up his nose, and he couldn't do anything in return. Under the cover of grass and dry leaves, a tiger stealthily approached a doe and her young fawn. The mother spotted the danger too late. The tiger was already just a few meters away. The fawn had almost no chance of escaping. Tourists captured an unbelievable leopard hunt on warthogs. The big cat caught a piglet right in the middle of the road, then climbed a tree to escape the adults, but the tree broke. Left with no choice, the leopard grabbed its meal and made a run for it. A leopard was casually passing by a warthog's burrow and decided to take a peek inside. The big cat was clearly startled by the massive head of an angry warthog and had to flee. But the foolish warthog ran off in the wrong direction, leaving its burrow unguarded. The leopard, being much smarter, returned and grabbed a quick snack, a small piglet. A leopard mother fought fiercely against a lioness for even the slightest chance to save her cubs. It was undoubtedly one of the bravest acts, and surprisingly, the lioness never noticed the cubs. She chased after the mother instead. According to tourists, another lioness soon caught a wildebeest nearby, and the lions lost interest in the leopard. The mother successfully saved her cubs, who remained completely unharmed. In India, people filmed a tiger sneaking up on a massive gar but hesitating to attack. When the horned giant sensed the predator behind him and turned around, the tiger calmly backed off a few meters and lay down as if nothing had happened. This is pure shock content. A hawk attacked a domestic chicken right next to its owner's feet. The woman grabbed the bird by its wings and simply tossed it aside. The hawk must have been completely fixated on its target. It didn't seem to see anything else. The owner was in complete shock when his dog brought home a live armadillo. The family decided to keep it as a new pet. The armadillo also seemed to love the idea. Now it has a new home. A kind woman decided to save a little spider. She gently placed it on a tree and set it free, but a sneaky lizard was waiting nearby. The spider wasn't so lucky. It turns out that armadillos are quite the predators. This one caught a large iguana and carried it away in its jaws. A buffalo cow approached a male buffalo with her newborn calf, but for some reason, the bull didn't like the little one. He suddenly attacked the calf, flipping it over twice. Fortunately, the young buffalo seemed unharmed and continued following its mother. This lioness spent several days stalking a massive giraffe, carefully planning her attack. It seems her small prey didn't interest her. She wanted everything at once. On the third day, she finally made her move. Unfortunately, all she managed was an awkward leap. Looks like she'll have to find an easier meal. These rats shouldn't be running around the yard so boldly. Nighttime predators are always on the lookout. A silent owl swooped down, successfully snatching its prey in the talons and flying away. This little duckling got extremely lucky. The hawk's attack failed. A group of cheetahs attacked a small warthog, but before they could catch it, it escaped into its burrow just in time. The hunt was now pointless. Adult warthogs had gathered to defend the den, and they clearly weren't afraid of the cheetahs. In shallow water, a large fish failed to notice an approaching crocodile and quickly became its prey. The toothy predator swallowed it in an instant. A sea lion leapt out of the water onto the coastal rocks and quickly caught a distracted bird for lunch. A very successful hunt. This squirrel is fiercely defending its nest from a bold snake. The snake took a defensive stance as well, but after the squirrel's relentless assault, it quickly realized it was better to slither away. I have no idea what this lioness was thinking, but she sat for a long time drooling over a rather large baby rhino. Her attempt to attack was completely clumsy, and of course, Mom was right there to defend her calf. This crab was clearly in the wrong place at the wrong time. After a lightning-fast attack by a turtle, it simply vanished. Let's watch the action in slow motion. And here's what happens to your eyes if you stick your tongue out where it doesn't belong. A clever little mouse found the perfect hiding spot. The cat could smell it, but just couldn't find it. Another stunning lioness chase after a zebra, the striped prey doesn't have much time left. A cunning crocodile sensed something and crawled out of the water. On the shore, it found a raccoon that seemed completely blind and deaf to danger. The crocodile crept within striking distance and successfully attacked. In the winter forest, a lynx silently crept up on an unsuspecting squirrel. A beautiful leap, a swift attack, and the lynx carried the squirrel away in its jaws. A small bird didn't have time to take off from its nest and fell victim to a hungry raccoon's attack. A mother gazelle and her fawn sensed something was wrong. Her instincts didn't fail. Suddenly, a leopard exploded out of the grass at full speed. Naturally, the predator chose the easier target. The fawn had no chance of survival. As soon as these baby squirrels learned to see and run, they began leaving their nest to play on the lawn. Naturally, predatory crows couldn't ignore such an abundance of squirrels, but they were only interested in the smallest and most defenseless ones. One unlucky baby was snatched up and carried away in the crow's beak. On a house porch, a leopard snuck up on two sleeping dogs. One of them was instantly attacked. The leopard vanished into the night with its prey clutched in its teeth. This cat spent a long time trying to catch a squirrel, chasing it around a tree. Of course, for the squirrel, this was just a classic defense tactic. Catching it on a tree was nearly impossible for an ordinary house cat. Tourists on the Sabi River in South Africa were watching a herd of 35 buffaloes when two lionesses decided to attack. The dramatic footage captured the moment when one small buffalo managed to slip free from the lioness's grip, all thanks to its herd mates, who quickly rushed back to save it. A pack of wild dogs surrounded a deer, forcing it to seek refuge in the water. After a brief struggle, the deer realized that predators weren't giving up and had only one option: swim away. And that's exactly what it did, successfully escaping. A group of cheetahs launched an attack on a massive herd of wildebeest. They quickly managed to bring down a young calf, and now watch their smart hunting strategy. As the herd began to close in, two cheetahs ran off to create chaos and panic, preventing the wildebeest from interfering while the others finished off their prey. These two lionesses decided to hunt at night on the beach. They got lucky. They spotted a sleeping seal and attacked. Despite the seal's desperate attempts to crawl back to the water, it couldn't make it. A small bird decided to attack a crab, but this little fighter wasn't about to give up. It lashed back and managed to defend itself. These two cheetahs struggled for a long time to take down a large antelope, but they finally succeeded. However, they didn't even get a chance to eat. An opportunistic hyena rushed in and stole their meal. Late at night, right in the city, a man decided to film a wild lynx from his car, but never expected to capture an entire battle. Another lynx suddenly appeared from behind a snowbank, and the two began an intense fight. The cameraman was in shock. Next, a chase between a polar bear and a reindeer. Unfortunately, in such deep snow, the reindeer's strength gave out first. This sleek horse was introduced to a group of other horses, but it clearly didn't like any of them. Incredible footage, a bear burst out of the forest targeting a domestic cow, but within seconds 3 shepherd dogs were right on its tail. Realizing the hunt had failed, the bear now had to run for its own life. When a massive rhino approached the lions, a lioness couldn't resist and jumped onto its back. But she quickly realized she was outmatched and abandoned her plan, leaving her husband to deal with the enraged rhino. The lion barely avoided being impaled by its massive, sharp horn. This seal spent a long time chasing a fish near the shore, but after failing to catch it, it decided to take revenge on a fisherman. It looked hilarious. This gull seriously miscalculated and tried to swallow a fish that was way too big for it. This hawk had a very successful hunt today. A mother giraffe tried for a long time to fend off the lion pride surrounding her, but it was too late to protect her calf, lying defenseless on the ground. When the giraffe finally decided to run, the lions gave chase. There was no escape. A tiny, half-blind baby squirrel found itself surrounded by hungry crows, ready to strike at any moment, but its mother fought with all her might, fending off the attackers and protecting her baby. Soon, she managed to lead the little one to safety. The cat knew that something would soon come out of this rat hole, a perfectly timed strike, and the prey was in its jaws. And in this short clip, people captured something truly unbelievable: a skunk attacking a baby deer. Who knew skunks were such fierce predators? But this one wasn't letting go. The recording cuts off, but the people later reported that they managed to save the fawn. If a wild turkey can't take flight, there's no way it can escape a hungry bobcat. Cannibalism among crocodiles is quite common, and in this video, you can see a large alligator grabbing a smaller one by the tail. The little one struggled to escape but had no chance. He was carried away in the bigger predator's jaws. A tiger launched an attack on a herd of gars, targeting a large female. Surprisingly, her herd mates rushed to her defense. A dominant male hesitated for a moment before deciding to toss the female into the air. Of course, that didn't help. An antelope was calmly crossing a river when, just as it reached the shore, a massive crocodile attacked, dragging it back to the middle of the water. But then something rare happened. Hippos rushed in to help. They quickly forced the crocodile to release its grip, and the antelope escaped unharmed. By the watering hole, a lioness encountered a zebra, and I think we all know how this ends. The lioness quickly brought her prey to the ground. But the attack site was unlucky. Almost immediately, a large crocodile crawled out of the water and latched onto the zebra as well. The lioness had no choice but to retreat. She wasn't going to compete with a crocodile. Here's a stunning leopard attack on an antelope straight from a tree. The big cat latched onto its prey, cutting off its air supply. The antelope wouldn't be able to stay on its feet for long. A rare moment was captured on camera: the final hunt of a snow leopard. While chasing mountain goats, it lost its footing and fell from a cliff, unable to survive the fall. It looks like this chick seriously overestimated its abilities, but you have to admire its bravery. These swifts chose a highly dangerous cave for nesting, home to bird-eating catfish that eagerly wait for birds to land on the water for a drink. And when the clumsy chicks start falling from their nests, it's a true feast for the catfish. Some amateur fishermen caught a rather large fish but couldn't pull it onto shore right away. A crocodile didn't miss its chance, but honestly, I wouldn't even dare to approach a body of water with monsters like that, let alone go fishing there. This wildlife film crew had been tracking a lynx for 2 months, and they finally captured something incredible: a lynx launching a winter ambush on a white rabbit. Lions chased a poor buffalo into the water, where it took a defensive stance and fought back, but soon the foolish buffalo gained too much confidence and stepped out of the water, only for the lions to take it down with ease. Luckily, its herd came to the rescue and managed to free it, but not for long. When one of the buffaloes tried to help it up a second time, it could no longer stand. A jackal stormed into a flock of pigeons and easily managed to snatch one. Pigeons really need to be more careful. I don't even know what to say. This cat is either incredibly brave or incredibly foolish, but somehow it managed to chase a bear out of the yard with ease. A bear got the shock of its life when it approached the door of a house, only to be attacked by a fearless cat. After that, the bear backed off and the cat proved itself as a true guardian of its territory. A brave little dog decided to attack some stray cats, but when it found itself completely surrounded, it quickly backed down. At a gas station in Africa, a group of brave dogs started barking at something, then suddenly they all vanished in an instant. A few seconds later, it became clear why. Lions had arrived at the station. It's not every day you get to see, let alone film, a battle between a wolverine and wolves. This footage is absolutely stunning, and the wolverine made it very clear that the wolves would not be getting their way. A stag beetle spotted a suitable female on a tree, but before they could introduce themselves, a rival with equally massive antlers appeared. A battle between the two males broke out, and unfortunately they both ended up tumbling to the ground. I think the most disappointed one was the female. This is how effortlessly bears catch food during the pink salmon spawning season. All it takes is one leap into the water and a large red fish is already in its jaws. An unlucky wildebeest walked straight into a lioness's ambush. The predator quickly caught up and sank its teeth into the prey. This time, the lioness used a rare technique, suffocating the victim by cutting off its oxygen supply. A trail camera captured wild horses resting peacefully in their favorite spot until suddenly a pack of wolves attacked. But on another camera angle, it's clear that the wolves aren't very confident and the horses don't seem afraid of them at all. This footage was taken in the vast plains of Masai Mara. Two male cheetahs had an incredibly successful hunt. It's rare for them to take down prey as large as this antelope. A hawk's attack on a bird feeding spot was incredibly successful. It snatched a sparrow right out of the air with its talons. We all know that stoats hunt rabbits, but this one definitely picked the wrong target. The rabbit turned the tables and attacked the stoat, forcing it to retreat. Many have already seen the viral video of a ram attacking a deer, but it's always worth watching again. The ram clearly overestimated its strength. The deer took it down quickly and gracefully. A cub sits on top of a dry tree while its mother bear watches carefully. They seem to be hiding from something, and within seconds, it becomes clear. A pack of hungry wolves launches an attack. The mother bear manages to climb up just in time, and soon, the wolves grow tired of this game of cat and mouse and leave. This strange-looking bird is called a shoebill. A zoo visitor was filming it when they captured something unexpected right near the shore. The shoebill locked onto its target and caught a small tench fish. But the slippery fish wasn't to its liking. It immediately spat it out and even rinsed its beak to get rid of the unpleasant slime. I have no idea what kind of animal this is, but it looks like a giant rat. This footage, captured in Japan, shows the strange creature attacking a large snake. The rat wrestled with the snake for a long time and looks like it won. A pack of wild dogs surrounded a large herd of wildebeests. The antelopes huddled together and defended themselves. But then, out of nowhere, lions stormed into the chaos. A male lion effortlessly sank its teeth into a large wildebeest using a rare hunting tactic, blocking its prey's airway. This time, a jaguar used an unusual hunting tactic. It attacked an alligator not from the shore, but from the water. The crocodile had no chance to escape. Tourists managed to film a wild dog attacking a kudu antelope. The dog singled out a calf and a struggle began. The other antelopes just stood and watched, unable to help, but the dog wasn't having much success either. However, the chaos soon attracted a hyena, and now the calf's chances of survival were truly gone. A massive eagle circled over a flock of sheep for a long time before finally deciding to attack, but the predator didn't notice the guard dogs protecting the flock. Within seconds, the wolfhounds were on it, and the eagle went from hunter to prey. Here's a face-to-face encounter between a pheasant and a hawk. The pheasant attempted an attack aiming straight for the hawk's eye, but let's just say it didn't go as planned. Under the cover of dry grass, a lioness stealthily crept up incredibly close to a family of warthogs. The little pigs scattered in all directions, but catching one of the piglets was an easy task for the lioness. Yet another dramatic buffalo fight, this one desperately trying to defend itself from a pride of lions. But as expected, without help from its herd, the hoofed animal stood no chance. And this moose made the mistake of wandering too close to a house, but little did it know, the home was protected by a fearless horse. In the Himalayas, snow leopards often hunt yaks. Here are a few such moments that were captured on camera. This leopard dragged its prey up a tree to keep it safe from other predators, but there was one thing it didn't account for: another hungry leopard was nearby. Without any trouble, the intruder climbed the tree and stole the hunter's meal. I have no idea how a wild boar ended up inside this cattle pen, but the cows absolutely destroyed it. People on a boat witnessed an incredible killer whale hunt. With powerful tail slaps, the poor seal was sent flying several meters into the air. A venomous snake slithers into the bushes near a group of lions, and it seems to be highly aggressive. The lion cubs scatter immediately, while an old lion rushes over to see what caused the panic. Upon spotting the black mamba, he quickly realizes it's time to run as well. A predatory turtle tried to snatch a duckling, but the mother duck was on high alert. She saved her baby and even managed to chase the turtle away. It looks like this cheetah has locked onto its prey. It shifts into high gear and the chase begins. Within seconds, the small gazelle loses the race for survival.